All right, y'all, doing a heater box install. Finally got everything pieced together here. So, where do I start? So obviously you've seen videos of me restoring this, painting it and everything. I have the ends, the openings and stuff taped up that way. Since I have the car stored, I don't want like any critters or mice getting inside and, you know, messing up, making nests inside the heater box, since it's gonna be stored for a while here before I even get to drive it. But what I did is, this is actually a 69, I think 67 to 69 Camaro heater core. Normally the heater core is flipped around this way so that the spouts or whatever you call them come out here, which puts it closer to the engine. But on the big block car, they're actually over here, so that way it moves it away from that passenger side head and valve cover, puts it over here on this side. And that's what I wanted to do, because when I installed the motor I didn't want any problems or anything like that. So got this idea from Rob over at Bad Luck Garage on YouTube, so I appreciate it, Rob, thank you. So I'm just passing on the knowledge and everything I learned to you guys as well. So I had to remake this bracket because the old one broke, and then this is the original one, and I had to do some little bit of finagling and whatever to get that to fit in there, but fits in pretty good. I had to bend these just slightly over to get it all flush, so this fits over it. Now this is the big block heater core cover or fan cover or whatever they call it, I don't know, heater box cover. And this hole right here, you have to hone out or make a little bit bigger. That top one, the bottom one fits good, but you see one of these pipes is a little bit bigger than the other, so that one you have to make a little bit bigger and bore out a little bit bigger. This one slides right over. Again, hard to do with one hand, but then anyways it goes down over all these holes there, and then goes right into the studs there, and then you fasten them in and good to go. So anyways, I just wanted to kind of show y'all the before I actually install it. And then, all right, y'all, got it installed here. I'm gonna have to take it back off probably sometime down the road to put the gasket in there, and then put some sealant in there, so when it rains or something, water can't get down and leak down in there. So I'm gonna have to reseal that back up. But since it didn't come stock with a big block in it, the heater core, again, this is where these little pipes outlets came out, and so I'm gonna have to fab up some type of aluminum sheet metal or something to cover that up, and then seal that in as well. But you know, all in all, pretty good. I just have it in there temporarily right now, but I needed to get it installed so I can get it out the way, so I can clear up some more room in my house, so I didn't have so much stuff laying around. But that's what it looks like with it out. So it'll come out here, and then the hoses will kind of lay on the wheel well and then go into the block there. So I'll show you here what it looks like from the inside, and that's what it looks like here from the inside. So all in all, looks pretty clean. It's kind of nice having it in here, because now it's, you know, slowly piecing together. It's kind of starting to look a little bit more and more like a nice car when I get everything situated with the car and get it all back together. But yeah, that's pretty much what it looks like there. So I'm gonna take that steering column out too and get that green part painted and get it all cleaned up and looking nice. So that'll be good to go. But yeah, y'all, coming together real nice. So, but yeah, that's it. So big block heater core upgrade to the regular stock heater box, and I got another one of these. Those are those fan high switch resistors or whatever they're called. I'm not sure. A blower motor resistor, I think it is. So that's new as well. So everything will be pretty much new, and everything will be touched up in this car, man. So all right, y'all, quick vid here before I wrap up here for the day. I decided to do just a little bit more to take advantage of my day off here. So I since I got the crank back and my block back, I decided to put that in and install it. and get that done. So it's kind of a tedious process. You got to take some steps in order to do that. So I wanted to just knock it out while I had some time. But anyways, I put my new main bearings in. So I got some new main bearings here. Just Engine Tech brand, just standard brand. You know, Engine Tech actually makes a couple different makes parts for a couple different companies. So they've been around for a long time, and I actually did some research on them, and like I said, they make like King, they make a couple other brands as well too. So I just got the standard mains and then rod bearings as well. So decided just to put those in and go ahead and knock that out. So took out my measurements with some plastic gauge. I don't have the correct tool to actually measure them, but I mean, that's better than nothing. And they all measured out to spec according to the book. And I have a book over there that I follow on these LS engines. And so it fell right in the spec. And then when they measured the crank as well, it was all within spec as well too. So I am good to go. So I got all these torqued down. So the inners you have to torque down first to 15 foot-pounds, and you got to do them in sequence, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Basically go in and then out, just overlapping every other main cap there. And then once you get those torqued down to 15 foot-pounds, you take these to an additional 81 degrees using a gauge, a torque gauge, or whatever tool that you have. Some people make them, and you do that in sequence as well. Then you knock these out in the same sequence, 15 foot-pounds, and then you torque these outer bolts to 51 degrees. So, and I any fastener that I use, and typically on any build that you want to do, you want to use some of this ARP fastener assembly lube. Excuse me. And use those. So I use those for all those as well. And before I put the final install back in, I put some assembly lube. I just use this. Oh, let me grab it here real quick. I just use this Lucas assembly lube, and it helps everything stay good and lubed up until your first startup. And then obviously, when the motor's running, then everything's lubricated by the oil that's in the engine. So, and then the assembly lube just kind of dissipates and goes away. So mixes in with the oil, then you're good to go. So yeah, y'all, it's been pretty good. It's a little tight right now just because of the thick assembly lube. That stuff is really, really thick. But I mean, if it wasn't for that, it would spin pretty freely. But I can still turn it by hand fairly easy. But you can definitely tell that assembly lube is pretty sticky. And other than that, y'all, shoot, that's about it. Kind of tired, y'all, so I'm gonna go ahead and wrap this up and go ahead and go inside. But yeah, I got that done. And oh, and then I also set the thrust bearing as well. So you know, you gotta take a rubber mallet and knock the crank front to back, and then you have to do a final tap, and then so it sets the thrust bearing in the forward position and the crank in the forward position, so it sets that bearing correctly. And then you have to measure, or you're supposed to measure in here. I actually haven't done that yet, but you're supposed to measure in here just to make sure your clearance is good with a feeler gauge. And that's about it. So I'm glad I got that done. Next step will be either I gotta follow the book. I'm not sure if it's the rods, the pistons, or the cam install. I'm not quite sure, but we'll see. So I'm gonna go ahead and wrap this up, put this bag over it, and wrap it up with some blankets, and go ahead and head inside. So all right, y'all, I will now holla at y'all later. Hope everybody's having a great day, great weekend leading into the new week, and we'll holla at y'all later. Peace out.